The room was metal and cold. Machines hummed and lights flickered above. Logan Hayes stood with his hands on his hips watching the cub. It was huge, larger than the others, muscles coiling under gray fur. Its eyes were sharp and aware. Logan threw the dummy across the floor. The cub moved faster than he expected. Its jaws clamped around the neck, crushing the head with a sickening snap. Logan stepped forward, not afraid, but his face was hard. He frowned. The cub froze. It lowered its head slightly, its ears flat. Logan's disappointment hit harder than fear. He reached out a hand, and the cub hesitated, then stepped closer. Scientists shouted around him, voices sharp. Some said to put the cub down. Logan waved them off. "It knows," he said. "It listens to me. Kill it now. We lose more than a weapon. We lose control." Alarms went off. Red lights flashed. The colony was under attack. Logan's chest tightened. The cub sniffed the air, ears twitching. Machines outside shook from distant explosions. "Get to your stations," Logan barked. "We move now." The cub followed him, silent and alert. Logan checked weapons and armor quickly. He glanced back at the cub. Its eyes met his. There was a spark of understanding, almost human. They stepped into the corridor. Metal walls hummed from the engines. Smoke drifted in from vents. Logan led the group down a path littered with debris. Every step echoed. Every shadow moved. Alien ships were above the colony now. The hum of engines grew louder. Metal floors shook beneath their boots. Logan shouted orders. His team fired back at automated drones sent ahead by the invaders. The cub tore through the first wave with precision. It crushed drones against walls. Its movements were fast and fluid, like water in motion, but deadly. Humans around it ducked and fired. Logan ran beside it, heart pounding. He could feel the tension in the cub as if it mirrored his own. "Keep moving," he yelled. A wall of plasma fire forced them to dive. Sparks sprayed around. The cub pushed a fallen soldier out of the way. Logan barely had time to notice before it leapt forward, tearing through an alien drone that lunged at him. The air smelled of ozone and burnt metal. Logan's chest heaved. The cub lowered its head, watching him. Logan's jaw tightened. This was more than a fight. This was survival, strategy, and instinct all mixed into one moving beast. They reached the edge of the colony. Explosions lit the sky like fire. Logan spotted a massive alien warship hovering above, engines thrumming like a heartbeat. Its shadow stretched across the landscape. The cub growled low, a warning. Logan's hand rested on its neck, feeling the power beneath the fur. It was ready. He was ready. The humans around them paused, seeing the creature and realizing it was not just a tool, but a soldier, a predator, and perhaps a protector. Then the cub snapped its head toward the distant warship. Its roar cut through the chaos, full of intent and intelligence. Logan watched it, his stomach tight with fear and pride. The battlefield was no longer just survival. It was a test of trust, of leadership, and of what it meant to command something alive and unstoppable. An explosion rocked the ground behind them. Smoke and fire twisted in the air. The cub froze for a heartbeat, then leapt forward, ready. Logan sprinted after it, and in that instant he knew nothing in his life had prepared him for this war. The sky burned red, and the ground shook. The first wave was only the beginning, and the cub was already hunting. The ground shook as the alien drones poured over the colony walls. Logan sprinted, the cub at his side. Sparks flew from broken machines. Smoke hung in the air, thick and hot. He shouted orders, trying to keep the human squad coordinated. Their weapons spat fire, but the drones kept coming. The cub moved between soldiers like a shadow, crushing drones against walls, biting through limbs, tearing them apart with precision. Each strike was measured. Each movement was deadly. Logan could see it was not just instinct. The cub was thinking, predicting. It was protecting him and the squad. A plasma blast struck near them, throwing Logan to the floor. The cub jumped over him, spinning midair to tear an attacker apart. Logan scrambled up, breathing hard. The humans around them were in shock. They had trained with the cub, but now it was something more, a force of nature. Logan saw a squad trapped behind debris. He yelled, pointing. The cub bolted ahead, leaping over shattered walls. It crushed one drone, snapping it in two, and nudged the soldiers to safety. Logan followed, heart hammering. He realized the cub understood his intentions. It acted on his thoughts before he could speak. The sky burned orange as more alien ships approached. Engines droned overhead, heavy and low. Logan ducked behind a wall as a missile passed, spraying metal fragments. The cub growled and ran into the open, taking out two drones that tried to flank them. Its eyes glowed with focus. A human soldier screamed, grabbed by a drone. Logan fired but missed. The cub was faster. It leapt, sank its teeth into the drone, and tore it apart. The soldier fell to the ground, shaking, terrified but alive. Logan knelt beside him, patting his shoulder. "It's okay. You're safe," Logan said, though he knew nothing was safe out here. The cub sniffed the air, ears twitching. It growled low and moved forward. Logan ran beside it, his chest tight with fear and adrenaline. They reached a ruined control tower. Inside, a group of aliens had landed. The cub pressed against the doorway, muscles coiled. Logan signaled. The squad fired. Explosions rattled the walls. The cub burst inside, tearing through the first wave. Logan followed, swinging his weapon, heart pounding. Humans fell back, some killed, some wounded. Suddenly, a massive alien appeared. Taller than any soldier, covered in armored plates. It looked directly at Logan. The cub snarled and leapt, but the alien blocked it easily. Logan ran forward, striking at weak points. Sparks flew as metal hit metal. The cub circled, trying to find an opening. The alien roared and struck. Logan was thrown back against a wall. Pain shot through his shoulder. The cub attacked again, this time biting at joints, slowing the creature. Logan scrambled up, firing, moving with the cub like a single unit. The alien staggered. A warning siren rang through the tower. Reinforcements were coming. Logan looked at the cub, sweat and blood on both of them. The cub met his gaze, lowering its head slightly, a hint of the same gesture from the training room. It understood. It waited for his command. Logan clenched his jaw. He raised his hand. The cub leapt. The alien fell with a crash that shook the floor. Logan helped the injured humans up. They limped outside, the cub at the front, scanning. More ships hovered above. The city burned. Then Logan saw it. A strange alien warlord appeared at the far edge of the battlefield. Its armor shimmered and its eyes locked on him. The cub growled low, muscles tensed. Logan knew they were being watched. The real fight was about to start, and this was no ordinary enemy. The sky rumbled, explosions echoed in the distance. Logan took a deep breath, gripping the cub's neck. They were ready, but neither of them knew what the warlord would do next. Smoke and fire covered the city. Logan moved through the wreckage with the cub beside him. The humans were scattered, some helping the wounded, some firing at drones still landing. Every step was dangerous. Every shadow could hide an enemy. Logan noticed strange behavior from one of his squad. Soldier Carter lingered behind, eyes darting, hands touching control panels. Something felt wrong. Logan gritted his teeth. He had trained with this man, trusted him. But trust did not survive war. He signaled the cub. Its ears twitched, eyes focused. Logan moved silently toward Carter. The cub stayed close, tail low, ready. Carter slipped a device into a console. Sparks erupted. A section of the wall powered down. Aliens moved through the gap. Logan stepped out. "Carter, stop," he shouted. Carter froze, then he ran. Logan and the cub pursued. The cub leapt over debris, claws digging into metal, landing near Carter with a snarl. Carter spun, aiming his weapon. The cub growled low, not moving forward yet. Logan raised a hand. Carter hesitated, his plan exposed. They fought briefly, Logan dodging fire, the cub circling, ready to strike. Logan grabbed Carter, twisting him to the ground. "Why?" he demanded. Carter spat blood. "You don't understand. They promised safety. They promised power. We're already dead if we don't help them." Logan's jaw tightened. "You betrayed us, betrayed your people. And for what? Survival? There is no survival if we fight like cowards." The cub nudged Carter, teeth near but not biting. Logan saw the fear, the realization in Carter's eyes. He stepped back, letting the cub hold him in place. The sound of approaching drones reminded Logan the war did not wait. They returned to the squad, Carter in tow, humiliated and beaten but alive. Logan reassured the soldiers around him. They had survived the betrayal, but the weight of it hung heavy. The cub pressed close to Logan, sensing tension, muscles coiled. A low rumble shook the ground. Drones swarmed from a nearby landing zone, faster than before. Logan raised his weapon. The cub charged, taking the lead, tearing through metal and alien flesh with precision. Humans followed, firing and moving in coordination. Logan's heart pounded as he guided them through the chaos. Amid the fight, Logan realized the cub understood every command without speaking. Its eyes followed him. It reacted to his pauses and gestures. Together, they moved like a single predator against the swarm. Soldiers around them began to rely on it as much as they relied on him. Then the warlord appeared on a ridge, observing. Its armor shimmered, its presence alone demanding attention. Logan froze for a moment. The cub growled, tail flicking, sensing the danger before he did. Logan's instincts screamed. They were outmatched if they faced it directly. Carter whispered behind him, trying to escape again. The cub turned sharply, growl vibrating through the air. Logan grabbed the man, holding him down. The humans looked at him in silence. The cub lowered its head toward Logan once again, a small but clear signal of judgment. Logan met its eyes, understanding the creature's loyalty and intelligence. Explosions rocked the area. Smoke filled the air, burning in their lungs. Logan knew they had to retreat or die. He signaled the squad and the cub, moving toward the edge of the city where escape pods were waiting. But as they ran, Logan saw movement from the warlord. It gestured and a beam of light struck the ground ahead, cutting off their path. The cub snarled, leaping forward, ready to attack, but Logan grabbed its collar. They were trapped, the squad behind them, the warlord watching. Logan's chest tightened. Every second mattered. The city burned around them, betrayal behind them, and an enemy above that could destroy them all in moments. Logan met the cub's eyes again. It lowered its head slightly, waiting for his choice. Logan swallowed hard, knowing the next move would decide who survived this war. The sky above them roared with engines, and the warlord's shadow stretched over the ruins. The trap had begun. The alien warship hung above the planet like a dark shadow. Logan and the cub crouched behind debris on the landing zone. Smoke rose from burning buildings. Humans scrambled toward escape pods, but Logan's mind was fixed. He had to get onto that ship. "We take the ship," he said, voice low but firm. The cub growled, ears twitching. Logan crouched, checking weapons. He grabbed a plasma rifle, motioned to the squad. Most hesitated, fear in their eyes. Logan met each gaze. "We survive, or we die trying. Follow me." They moved through the wreckage using shadows and ruined buildings for cover. Explosions rocked the ground. Drones patrolled ahead, sensors scanning. The cub pressed against Logan, moving silently beside him. Its muscles coiled like springs, ready to attack. The team reached the boarding point. Energy shields glowed. Logan scanned the console. He typed rapidly, overriding security locks. The cub sniffed the air, growling low. The hatch hissed and opened. They slipped inside, metal corridors cold and dark. Aliens patrolled with glowing weapons. Logan led the cub through twists and turns. Every corner was a trap, every corridor a challenge. The cub moved with precision, taking down guards silently. Logan followed, heart pounding, lungs tight. He realized the cub understood more than instinct. It was anticipating, planning. They reached the containment area. A small group of cubs like theirs were held in stasis. Logan's chest tightened. The cub sniffed the air, ears flat. Logan hesitated. These creatures could be weapons or allies. The cub nudged him, impatient. He nodded and moved on. Ahead, the command core glowed. Logan signaled the squad to hold back. He and the cub advanced. Alien sentries blocked the hall. The cub leapt, landing with crushing force on the nearest one. Logan fired, pushing through. Sparks and smoke filled the corridor. Alarm sirens blared. Logan stopped at the core. Energy pulses hummed. He glanced at the cub. Its eyes met his, calm and focused. Logan reached for the detonation sequence, calculating the risk. Civilians might be nearby. He hesitated, torn between duty and survival. The cub nudged him, pressing against his leg. It lowered its head slightly, the same gesture from before. Logan understood. The choice was his. He pressed the sequence. The core hummed louder, lights blinking red. Drones swarmed the area. Logan and the cub fought side by side, cutting through the waves. The cub was faster than ever, crushing drones and alien soldiers alike. Logan's mind raced, heart pounding, blood in his ears. A sudden blast threw them backward. The cub skidded across the floor, spinning and attacking another wave. Logan struggled to stand. The detonation timer counted down. Smoke choked the corridor. Aliens shrieked. Logan grabbed the cub, running toward the escape pod bay. The cub's roar echoed, warning and rallying. Logan fired at the last guards blocking the bay. The squad followed behind, limping, exhausted. The pod doors opened, engines hummed. Logan jumped in, the cub landing beside him. He slammed the control, launching into space. The warship shuddered. Explosions tore through its hull. Logan pressed against the cub, heart racing. The cub lowered its head again, closer this time, almost a gesture of satisfaction. Logan patted its neck, understanding the bond had grown beyond survival. Then alarms blared again. Logan's stomach dropped. The cub stiffened. Through the viewport, another fleet of alien ships appeared, emerging from hyperspace. They were surrounded. The cub growled, muscles tensing, eyes locked on Logan. The war was far from over, and the next battle would be worse. The escape pod hit the colony's surface hard, skidding across molten metal and rubble. Logan hit the floor, coughing from smoke and dust. The cub shook off the impact, muscles coiled, eyes scanning. Logan scrambled up, heart hammering. They were alive, but the battle was not over. Explosions in the sky signaled the new alien fleet. Logan checked weapons and armor. Humans around him tried to regroup. Fear was heavy, but determination burned brighter. The cub pressed close, sensing Logan's tension, muscles ready to spring. Logan pointed toward the nearest ridge. "We hold them there," he shouted. "We fight or we die." The squad followed, soldiers leaning on walls, wounded but moving. Logan's gaze met the cub's. It lowered its head slightly, waiting for command. Logan nodded, and they advanced. The first wave of alien ships fired, laser beams cutting the ground, scorching metal. The cub leapt into the open faster than bullets, tearing through automated drones with precision. Logan fired at the aliens targeting humans, moving as one with the cub. Every strike, every move was coordinated. They reached the ridge. Logan had a clear view of the fleet. Engines glowed, weapons primed. The cub growled low, muscles tense. Logan knew they could not hold them long. He glanced at the humans around him, seeing fear and exhaustion. He swallowed hard, knowing what had to be done. The plan was risky. Logan and the Cub would board the lead ship using remaining pods, infiltrate the command center, and destroy the control system. The squad would hold the ridge as long as possible. Logan took a deep breath, gripping the Cub's neck. They launched. Inside the alien ship, corridors were dark and metallic. Guards patrolled. Logan moved silently with the Cub beside him, muscles coiled. They attacked in tandem, the Cub tearing through enemies while Logan fired and dodged. Every sound, every echo was amplified by adrenaline. They reached the command core. Alien officers surrounded it. Logan hesitated, calculating risk. The Cub pressed against him, lowering its head, mirroring the old gesture. Logan understood. He attacked. The Cub leapt, crushing enemies, clearing the path. Logan reached the core, initiating overload. Alarms blared, smoke filled the hall. Logan grabbed the Cub, sprinting back through corridors as explosions ripped through the ship. The Cub moved like a blur, tearing down the last defenders. Logan's chest heaved, lungs burning. They reached the escape pods just as the ship began to collapse. The pod launched, engines shaking violently. Logan looked at the Cub, chest rising and falling with the same rhythm. The Cub lowered its head, resting it briefly against Logan's shoulder. In that small moment, there was trust, respect, and a bond forged in fire and blood. The warship erupted behind them, a massive fireball in the sky. Logan exhaled, relief mixed with exhaustion. But through the viewport, more enemy ships appeared on the horizon. The fleet had regrouped. The sky burned again, engines humming threats of destruction. Logan tightened his grip on the Cub. They were alive, victorious in one battle, but the war stretched on. The Cub growled low, muscles tensing, eyes locked on him. Logan nodded. They would face it together. The colony below was still smoldering. Logan's squad emerged from hiding, looking up at the sky. The Cub nudged Logan, low growl echoing in the pod. Logan met its eyes and smiled faintly. The fight was not over. It would never be over. But they were ready. The war had tested humans, but humanity had endured, with courage, strategy, and allies beyond imagination. The pod shot toward the horizon, engines roaring. Logan's hand rested on the Cub's neck. They were alive. They were dangerous. And they would return.